Have you ever stopped to think about what's hiding deep, deep beneath your feet? I mean, really think about it. Today, we're going to dive into the amazing story of how one person's unstoppable curiosity revealed a secret at the very core of our planet.
So, picture this. A young girl named Inge Lehmann lying in her garden in Denmark, just staring at the grass and asking these huge questions. She wasn't satisfied with simple answers. And that powerful sense of wonder, well, it would eventually lead her to question everything that scientists thought they knew about the Earth.
So, let's get to know this girl, Inge. From the very beginning, she was all about numbers, books, and especially questions. You know the type, right? If you told her, oh, that's just the way it is, she'd immediately come back with, yeah, but why? She just had this deep-seated need to figure out how the world worked, from the clouds in the sky to the very ground she stood on.
Now for Inge, math wasn't just about homework and equations. Not at all. It was a tool, a secret language that let her crack codes and solve puzzles. It let her see patterns where other people just saw, well, chaos. And this skill, it was the perfect training for the biggest puzzle she would ever face, the Earth itself.
So, when Inge grew up, she took that passion and turned it into a career. She became a seismologist. That's a scientist who studies one of the most powerful and, frankly, terrifying forces on Earth, earthquakes. But her job wasn't just about measuring their power. It was about listening to the secret messages they carried from deep within our planet.
And what are those messages? Well, they're called seismic waves. Think of them like massive energy ripples that shoot through the entire planet when an earthquake happens. Inge knew these waves weren't just about destruction. Nope. They were messengers, bringing back secrets from places no human could ever go.
At that time, everybody in the scientific world agreed on how the Earth was built. It was a simple three-layer cake, basically. You had the thin outer crust we live on, then a thick, rocky mantle, and right in the middle, a giant, hot ball of liquid metal. That was it. Case closed. It was considered fact. But Inge, she wasn't so sure.
A big part of Inge's job was staring at these squiggly lines printed out by machines called seismographs. To you or me, they'd look like scribbles. But to Inge, it was a language. She was literally reading transmissions from the planet's core. And she was about to spot a tiny detail, a single clue, that every other scientist had just completely missed.
She was poring over the data from a huge earthquake that had happened all the way over in New Zealand. And that's when she saw it. Something weird. There were these faint little echoes in the data. Seismic waves were showing up in places, so-called shadow zones, where, according to the three-layer model, it was physically impossible for them to be.
Okay, so here's the puzzle. The accepted theory said waves would just travel right through the big liquid core, but Inge data told a different story. Some of these waves were acting like they'd hit something solid and bounced off, like a tennis ball hitting a wall. It was this tiny, tiny little detail that suggested a massive flaw in what everyone thought they knew.
You have to understand, just asking that question was, well, kind of a big deal. Her colleagues pretty much told her she was wrong. They'd say, Inge, the core is liquid. The models are solid. But Inge's meticulous work was telling her something else, something the Earth itself seemed to be whispering.
But Inge didn't give up. She trusted her data. She went back to her papers, checking and rechecking every single calculation. She compared data from earthquakes all over the world. And the more she looked, the more certain she became. The data wasn't wrong. The model was.
Finally, she published a paper, a short, simple paper titled Ping. And in it, she made her bombshell declaration. Our planet didn't have three layers, it had a fourth, a solid inner core, tucked right inside the liquid outer core. It was an idea that would literally rewrite the textbooks.
And the reaction? Well, it wasn't exactly a round of applause. Some in the scientific community just dismissed her. You have to remember, this was the early 20th century. As a woman in a field completely dominated by men, she had to work twice as hard and her proof had to be absolutely undeniable. But Inge, she stayed calm. She knew her work was solid. She wasn't trying to be famous. She was just following the evidence. She truly believed that the Earth was speaking through the data, and her job was just to be quiet and listen very, very carefully. And you know what? Eventually, the rest of the scientific world started listening too. As more seismologists checked her work and new data came in, they all came to the same conclusion. She was right. Her evidence was just too strong to ignore. Her quiet, patient work had completely changed our understanding of the planet we live on.
So this is the picture of the Earth we have today, and it's all thanks to Inge Lehmann.
Not 3, but 4. Her discovery of that solid inner core wasn't just some minor update. It was the missing piece of the puzzle that revealed the true, complex, and incredible structure of our world.
And get this, it's not just some interesting fact for a science book. This solid inner core, this secret heart of iron and nickel, is absolutely crucial for our survival. Its dance with the liquid outer core is what generates Earth's magnetic field. And that field acts like an invisible shield, protecting us and our atmosphere from the sun's dangerous radiation. So, Inge didn't just find a new layer. She found our planet's guardian.
Inge Lehmann's story is just such a powerful lesson, isn't it? She was a quiet, modest person, but her careful, patient work had an impact that echoes to this day. She showed us that sometimes the biggest discoveries aren't made with a loud bang, but with a quiet whisper, if you just know how to listen.
And that really leaves you with a thought, doesn't it? Inge found the heart of our planet because she listened to its quietest whispers. It really makes you wonder, what other incredible secrets are out there, in our world or even in the universe, just waiting for someone to tune out the noise and listen closely enough to hear them?